Alright, it's official. China and the US have finally struck a deal to drastically roll back tariffs after 2 days of marathon trade negotiations in Geneva. Both sides hailed substantial progress. Now let's be clear, this doesn't mean the trade war is over, but it is 100% good news for the world and a major win for Team China. Let's break it down. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Some of my subscribers might know I've been following the US-China trade war for quite some time now and have made quite a few videos on it.
Now the tariffs has gone to 245%.
And 80% of my factory is making the US. So right here, all was stock and then all was stopped.
Well, something big just happened over the weekend. The two global giants finally shook hands and agreed to roll back the tariffs. First thing first, let's take a look at the joint statement released after the meeting. The United States will modify the application of the additional ad valorem rate of duty on articles of China. Okay, it's long and technical, but here's the gist. The statement effectively means the US will temporarily lower its overall tariffs on Chinese goods from 145% down to 30%. In return, China will cut its tariffs on American imports from 125% down to 10%. There's also a 90-day suspension of certain 24% tariffs. If no better terms are reached in that time, those tariffs could bounce back to 54% and 34% respectively. Even with that uncertainty, this is very good news for Chinese manufacturers, American importers, global capital markets, and yes, American consumers. According to a CNN report in April, consumer sentiment in the US dropped by 11%, hitting 50.8, the second lowest reading since 1952, lower than any point in the Great Recession. So for American consumers, this is a break. You won't have to stress about sky-high prices on daily essentials. Good news, yes, but here comes the million-dollar question. Who actually won? We all know Donald Trump will brand this as a win. That's just a, Trump thing. But the world sees what really happened. China stood its ground. China retaliated where it hurt. And when the US came back to the table, practically begging for a meeting, and then agreed to roll back the insane reciprocal tariffs, that's an epic win for China and a powerful message to the world. Never back down to a bully. So what's next? In the short term, we'll likely see a surge in trade. Chinese manufacturers and American importers will rush to get orders through before anything changes again. Capital markets are reacting well. Some indexes across Asia are already showing strong signs of recovery. But politically, this could be bad news for Republicans and Trump supporters. After all the tough talk, Trump walked away with basically nothing. That's going to hurt confidence. Meanwhile, China is regaining momentum on exports and can now focus on bigger priorities. But like I said, this isn't the end of the trade war. Negotiations will continue and China won't rest until all of those so-called reciprocal tariffs are gone. Let's be clear, China didn't agree to meet because it couldn't take the pressure. Quite the opposite. China has plenty of tools to counter the US, but chaos helps no one. Nobody wants that. China wants a healthy trade relationship and a stable global trading system that benefits all its partners. That's why China showed up. It's a spirit shared by many proud Chinese entrepreneurs. I visited and spoken with numerous Chinese business owners whose factories were directly impacted by US tariffs. And there's one thing they all have in common. They're not willing to back down, even if it means losing orders from the US. They know the importance of taking a stand as a nation and fighting for the upper hand.
We are very professional for the open. This is why I'm saying USA cannot. They cannot like professional like us. I am so professional. And then, in this case, I am confident they cannot compare with us.
And they're confident for good reasons. Roughly 80% of America's smartphones, TVs, and monitors are made in China. A massive share of home appliances, furniture, and toys also come from China. Just a month into the tariffs, shelves in US malls are already running low. Can they really find alternative suppliers in just a few months? Not quite likely. If the tariffs were to stay, prices would inevitably go up for American companies and for everyday consumers. It will shape up to be a supply chain nightmare for the US. Now that most of the tariffs are off the table, shipments from China can resume soon. But here's the thing, the change is already happening. Many Chinese manufacturers have started diversifying their markets to reduce reliance on the US. You know what they say? Never put all your eggs in one basket. The truth is, the US needs this deal more than China does. Why? Because the US can't find alternatives to made in China, at least not anytime soon. Meanwhile, China's already pivoting. It's buying oil, gas, soybeans, and pork from countries like Canada, Russia, and Brazil, and that shift is well underway. It's all part of a bigger strategy. China is working to reduce its reliance on the US, diversify export markets, and most importantly, boost domestic consumption. That's the ultimate path to becoming a truly self-reliant economy. When it comes to cutting-edge technology, Uncle Sam isn't causing too much trouble either. Despite all the barriers the US has tried to impose to slow down China's progress, China has still managed to develop one of the world's most advanced AI models, DeepSeek. And let's not forget, even US chip giants like Nvidia aren't willing to give up such a critical market. Despite pressure from the White House, Nvidia is reportedly planning to release a downgraded version of its H20 AI chip specifically for the Chinese market, a move aimed at skirting US export controls. Sources told Reuters the chip could be launched within the next 2 months, and the beauty of that chip is that it can be modified by end users to level up the performance. And Huawei is catching up as well. Some of their latest chips like Ascend are already matching those by Nvidia. What Bill Gates said to CNN is true, that tech bans are in fact pushing China to go full speed in everything. Those are my takeaways from the trade talks. What do you think of the agreement? Like, share, and drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in my next video.